So how do you that was really good, but how do you create music in such a climate like this? Because it's kind of hard to create positive music in such a negative time, you know.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to hear, just kind of your
yeah,
perspective or how you kind of stay focused on, making positive music in a negative time.
yeah. So I think the big thing first is like, uh, for inspiration. There's a lot of days where I'm not inspired to write anything,
Hmm.
but a lot of times, like before I start writing, like I'll put on a worship song or like I'll read something, and God will kind of like He'll give me an idea, and I'll kind of go from it, like from there, and I'll start writing about literally whatever He put on my mind, like. My next song that's gonna drop on the 11th, so like next Friday. It's called Control, and hold on, let me pull up the verse. So I was reading in John, and it was like Jesus was washing the disciples' feet,
Hmm.
and Peter was like, "Jesus, what are you doing? Like, why are you washing my feet? Like, I don't want you to wash my feet. Like, I should be serving you." And John 13:7. It says, Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you will understand." And so that like really hit me, and I was like, dang, I was going through a season where I was like, God, like, what are you doing right now? It feels like certain things like aren't aligning, and I feel like I just want to take everything over like for myself. So I needed some control. And from there I started writing, and it was just I wrote about like um giving God control and not relying on yourself, but going through Him for everything. And yeah, I don't know if that really answered your question, but like it really just starts for me like with a topic, and then I kind of go from there.
Yeah,
So
no, I think you answered my question pretty well, man. I think I'm excited for the song. By the way, I think I saw. Was this? Well, I don't want to say too much, but was it the one? I think it was the one you might have been filming a music video for. I'm guessing. I don't know.
yeah,
I saw you in your
yeah,
story, and I was like, the cover kind of looks like that thing, and I was like, sorry, but
yeah, yeah. That's
I'm, I'm legit a fan, so it's pretty cool to hear that, man. Uh,
thank you, bro.
so I know you said you went to a public school, and I think that's kind of a good thing to transition here to how do you keep your faith up as a Christian, or even as a I guess you're in college right now.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
freshman.
So how do you kind of keep your faith up in high school or even in college? Some people want to be a Christian, but there's so
Yeah,
much negative around them, or so many people who are not Christians around them. Telling them to do one thing.
yeah,
So how do you kind of remain in your faith in those
yeah.
situations?
For me, I mean, beginning of high school was kind of tough because it was like, man, you want to fit in with everybody. You're scared. Or for me, I was like, if I do something different, like people are gonna be like, oh, that kid's weird. And so like it was tough for me at first, but really what I prayed about was just God to give me boldness, like boldness in my faith. So I think the biggest thing for me was like coming to a realization where like this happened later in high school too, coming to a realization where like the people that you go to high school with, like that's a small 4 years of your life, and the
Yeah.
rest is just your life. So if
Hmm.
you really put it into perspective, like the things that you worry about people thinking about you, they really don't matter. And
Yeah.
so I think when it comes to that, and just diving into God's word, you realize that like you're found, like your identity is through Christ and not through the people around you. And
Yeah.
so I think for me it was just that realization, but it took time for me to realize that, but because I was always like scared of what others would think. And I think it
Mhm.
came, I don't know, just find you, and you don't have to be that person in your school where it's like
Yeah.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Like you can just simply like a shirt, like for an example, on my like walk by faith.
Mhm.
It could just be little things like that. That it could spark conversation. And then when conversation comes, like you just be real. Like you look at this world, there's so many people who have like their own thing. Like for example, there's people like um there's like the whole LGBTQ
Mhm.
community. It's like if they can be them, why can't I be me? So it's like just
Mhm.
being like be who you are. And
Yeah.
that's about it.
That's really good. Agree with the clothing thing too. I think I've been like when I wear, my whole closet's basically like HGA at this point. And then you wear
Yeah,
one
that's
thing,
dope.
everyone always asks what it is or what it ends up being.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you're right. It's just I feel like any little thing. the opinions of others
Yeah.
are still like, it feels very satisfying now, but it's very not
Yeah.
rewarding later. And you're right.
Yeah.